After Dad cheated and divorced Mom, I did not choose Mom, who walked away with nothing. Instead, I chose Dad, who clearly favored his illegitimate son, Oliver Brooks. It was only because after their divorce, Mom's obsession with reconciliation romance novels got me killed twice. In my first life, Mom was so desperate for Dad's respect that she willingly gave up everything in the divorce just to take me with her. In the end, my heart condition flared up, and without money for treatment, I died in agony on that hospital bed. In my second life, I went against Mom's wishes and asked Dad for the surgery money up front. However, Mom was hell-bent on pushing Dad onto a so-called redemption path, forced me to go bungee jumping the day before my surgery. Dad tried to stop me from jumping, but he was speeding and ended up in a fatal car crash. Mom blamed everything on me. With pure hatred in her eyes, she shoved me off that cliff. Useless piece of trash. Not only can't you help me win your father back, but you got him killed too. You might as well die with him. That moment made everything crystal clear. Mom never actually loved me. She just saw me as a tool to get Dad back. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day Mom demanded a divorce from Dad for the third time. Connor Lawson, since Aaron is back from overseas, I'll give you what you've always wanted. Let's get divorced. We can go to the courthouse tomorrow. Just like in my previous life, my mom did not give my dad any chance to explain. She boldly slammed the divorce papers in front of him. She had threatened divorce countless times because of his first love, Aaron Brooks. Every single time he would apologize and give in. However, this time, emotionally and physically exhausted, my dad did not back down. Instead, he picked the pen up and decisively signed his name. He said, "Audrey Green, as you wish." When she heard his words, my mom was furious. Even so, she stubbornly declared, "I don't care about the Lawson family's wealth. As long as you give me Sienna, I'll walk away with nothing." My dad frowned, then turned his eyes toward me. "Sienna, your mom and I are getting divorced. Who do you want to live with?" Suddenly being called out by my name, I saw the hopeful looks in both my parents' eyes and realized I had been reborn again. During my first life, when my parents got divorced, my mom had brainwashed me to prove she was the person who loved me most in this world. She would say, "Sienna, if you pick your dad, he'll remarry. Once there's a stepmother, he'll become a stranger. You'll end up bullied by that awful woman. Only I love you the most. As long as you stay with me, he'll eventually beg me to come back." To help them reconcile, I chose my mom without hesitation. However, she was completely poisoned by those win-him-back romance novels. Determined to play the role of the strong heroine my dad would regret losing, she insisted on walking away with nothing. Without money or a job, she dragged me through days where we never knew where our next meal would come from. When my heart condition finally flared up and I was lying on that hospital bed in agony, I begged her to ask my dad for money for the surgery. Yet, she lashed out at me instead, furious. "We're divorced. We may be poor, but we still have pride. How did I give birth to such a useless child? You want me to sell my dignity and self-respect for some money?" In the end, I died in excruciating pain on that hospital bed. Pathetically, even in death, I believed every word my mom had said. So, in my second life, I still chose my mom. Nonetheless, I was more careful this time. I secretly asked my dad ahead of time for the money for my surgery and our living expenses. My mom cursed and criticized me for being greedy, but she still pocketed the bank card my dad had given us. What I did not expect was that the day before my heart transplant surgery, she suddenly learned that my dad was attending a parent-teacher conference for Aaron's son, Oliver Brooks. Consumed with jealousy, she started brainwashing me again. "Sienna, whether your dad and I can get back together depends entirely on your performance this time." I chose to believe her once more. Later, she dragged me to a bungee jumping platform and sent the photos to my dad. "Connor, you know Sienna has a heart condition, right? She's about to bungee jump because of you. Are you going to stop her? If you don't get here in an hour, she'll jump." The moment my dad got the message, he sped over. Sadly, he crashed on the way and he ended up dying in the flames along with Aaron and Oliver. My mom pinned all of it on me. She unbuckled my safety harness and shoved me toward the abyss with pure hatred in her eyes. She hissed, saying, "If it weren't for you, Connor wouldn't have died. Useless trash. Not only did you fail to help me win him back, but you killed him. You might as well die too."